Okay, welcome back to lesson 5 of the 3D Rad tutorial series. In the last lesson we covered how to add custom content to the game, and we also as a bonus went over how to get those objects in there and link them to your existing objects so that you get a better visual aspect to the game. So what I'm going to do in this tutorial is give you a very generic demonstration of how to create your own 3D models for the game so that it is completely customized and you're not totally dependent on the assets that come with the program. While those assets are good, you expand your horizons greatly by designing your own 3D models. And there will be documentation on how to do this in other programs. I use 3D Studio Max for modeling. Now there's a bunch of different modeling programs out there. A lot of them are free, and 3D Rad uses natively the .x format for models. So you have to, whatever modeler you use, you just need a way to export to .x, and it's not all that difficult. It's actually very easy to do. If it was difficult, I wouldn't preach on it like I do. Okay, so I'm adding these objects to the scene here, and I just want to set this back up because again, it's it's like the program you never thought you wanted. We got some problems here. I'm going to add the camera too. Okay, we're going to go up. We're going to go back. And I'm going to link it to, well, set the translation speed while I'm here. And then we're going to link that to the car. It's set to chase. Alright, now it's set. So the idea here is that we want to make, I'm just using this as an example. You can use this for characters, props, anything, buildings, whatever your game world entails, just everything, all the visual elements. Okay, so what I want to do is design a custom body for this car, and this is going to be really crude and disappointing, but I'm going to show you how to do it, or how I'm going to do it, and how it would work. So the first thing we have to do, in the previous lesson we learned, we're going to install a custom skin mesh, and I'm going to call it new car. It can be called anything you want, and I'm going to save that, and installation complete. Okay. The next step is to actually design the model. Now again, I said I'm going to use 3D Studio Max for this, and I have it open. Here's my workspace here. So I'm just going to really quickly do this for you so that you get an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, this is not going to be in any way, shape, or form decent looking or worthy of a AAA title, whatever. But if I can design it fast in the time given, then it'll be better in the long run. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm just going to design a simple body of the car shape, basically. Again, it's not going to be fancy, it's not going to be impressive whatsoever, okay, but I am going to do it for purposes of demonstration. Okay, there's that, and underneath we got the wheel well here, and back here we got another wheel well. There we go. It's looking great, isn't it? Alright, I got my edges here. I don't want it to look so bad that it's just terrible. I want to do a little bit, but I'm going to chamfer these out a little bit. There we go. Okay, I'm going to move those up. Alright, there's your car as far as that goes. Maybe if I want to be nice, I'll pull this out a little bit. Just for the sake of argument. Let's see, there we go. I hope I didn't grab. Okay, I'll do the same thing with the back end. Okay, so there's your car. Isn't it fancy? Alright, now the other thing I'm going to do is put a texture on this. It's not going to be, again, fancy, but I have Photoshop open. I'm going to go to File, New, make a 64 by 64 graphic. It's already there. Good. Alright. And as soon as this generates, it seems to be lagging slightly because I have this recording program and all this running. Oh, there's our graphic. I'm going to zoom in on that. Whoa, too far. There we go. Use the paint bucket. Hit it with the green. Well, that was just selected. I'm not even worried about this. So we're going to add a filter, and I'll add some noise to that. Very nice. And then maybe oh, I can't do brush strokes on this because it's the background. Alright, that's fine. So it's going to be a grass car. And we're going to save this as. Now, I like to save my textures in the actual data folder of 3D-Rad, which is already selected. It's in Computer, C, 3D-Rad, 3D-Rad Res, Objects, Sprite, or I'm sorry, it should be Objects, Skin Mesh data. And the reason I do this is just because it's better in the long run. So I made it called New Car. That was it. It does save this texture automatically for you, but I like to put it in here anyway, so it's ready to go out of the box. So we're going to call this New Car Smell. I'm going to save that as a PNG for now. DDS is ideal, the DDS file format. Okay, so that's done. We go back to the car. I'm going to open up my material editor, and we're going to put this in here as the grass car texture. I got to navigate to my C, 3D-Rad, 3D-Rad Res, Objects, and Skin Mesh data, New Car. There's the New Car Smell. I'm going to apply that texture to the object. Okay, and it looks really bad, but again, this is just for demonstration purposes. Now, one thing that is important to note is that if you want a shadow of this to go around, the geometry does have to be closed hull, and all that means is that you can't have any gaps. Like if I click this face and got rid of it, you can see on the inside of that, it wouldn't cast a shadow properly. So it has to be closed hull, which means the geometry has to be closed on all sides. Alright, so now that we have this done, I'm going to go to File, Export. And it's export selected. It doesn't matter. There's only one object. But I have to navigate first to my folder again that has the custom object that we just created, and that was a skin mesh, and it was called New Car. Also, I have PandaSoft created an exporter for this, and it's the Panda DirectX exporter. Now, these two files here in the New Car folder were created when we installed the custom skin mesh in the first place. So in order to save this out properly, all I have to do is click the mesh or 000.mesh.x and hit save. It says it already exists. Do you want to replace it? Yes, I do. And it brings up this Panda DirectX exporter. Now there's a couple of tabs here for exporting. You've got your max options, your mesh options, your animation options, your texture options, your .x file setting options, and an about tab. However, all of this stuff is ready to go right out of the box, so I'm just going to click OK. It's going to take a second to save that out. And I'm also going to export this as the shadow, because I want to use this geometry for the shadow. Hit yes, save. Okay, back to Rad. Now, remember, we already have the car object here. I'm going to make sure this is selected by clicking the middle mouse wheel, because if I click the middle mouse wheel on any object, it orientates to its natural center. Okay, hit Control A, and we're going to add a skin mesh. It's going to add the default fish. And the last lesson you remember, we said we open the properties, click change, and here's my new car mesh that I made. So now that's loaded, I click OK, and oh my goodness, it's enormous. Now this is good that this happened, and I kind of thought that it would. The reason this mesh is so big is because you have to get the world coordinates and the object, the world coordinates in RAD and the coordinates in your modeling program to line up. But all I have to do here is rescale this down so that it fits right about with the size of the car itself. Okay, I'm also going to move it so that it's adjusted properly. Hey, that's not too bad for eyeballing it. Get the wheel well there. Alright, so here's my custom model. It looks very nice, doesn't it? It's got the texture on there, and I'm gonna link that to the car. We're gonna go to the car and hide the body geometry, just like the last time. And when I hit the space, There we go. Now I'm driving around, and that is a 100% completely custom, and you'll notice the shadow works properly as well, because I just used the geometry for the shadow, and now I've got a hoopty here. One other thing that I wanted to briefly touch on, because I did it a little wrong in the last episode, is the wheel didn't rotate with the actual wheel on the car, and that's just because I didn't have it selected properly. When you want the wheel to rotate with the car, the wheels are part of this car object, but all I have to do is middle click the wheel, Control A, new skin mesh, okay, open it up, change, and I'm going to choose the sports car wheel and click OK. Now I'm going to adjust the size of it so that it fits, okay, and just for fun, okay, link that to the car. Now what happens is when you have an object with multiple parts like this, this is a special case. This is selected, the skin mesh is selected, and I put it here. When I link this to the car, it's going to link to the last object that was selected. Okay, so all that means is this object is going to link appropriately. If I had something else chosen, it wouldn't. Okay, now I'm also going to clone this skin mesh 4 times or 3 times, okay, and I'm going to put the wheels in the other spots. Now this is actually pretty quick. All I got to do is middle click this one. I'm going to Control U to move the object to the center, and it moves it appropriately, linked to the car. I'm going to choose this wheel over here, middle click, Control U, move the object to the cursor, link it to the car, and one more time, middle click this wheel, Control U to move that last skin mesh in there and link it to the car. Now when I start it, all the wheels are rotating properly, and I've got my nice green grass. We're going green here for custom content. So that's how you do it. That's how you make custom content for your game. I am going to have a modeling tutorial series for more advanced stuff in the future. But for right now, I just wanted to show you how to get this done in real time so that the sugar plums will start to dance in your head. But like I said, for right now, it's just to show this. We'll have future modeling tutorials, and you can use Blender, you can use Wings 3D, SketchUp. There's all different kinds of programs that you can use that get this job done, and done well. So thank you for watching. In the next lesson, I'm going to start going over some design principles. We're going to go back to the slideshow for a little bit and jump back and forth between this and that, and teach you how to think about breaking down your ideas so that you can actually develop them into a working model. While this was very simple to do, as you can see, it already looks great, and I'm just clicking a couple of times wildly and rapidly, and we've got ourselves a custom car in a world that we can create a game with. But design principles are important. I'm going to talk about those in the next lesson. So I thank you for watching. You stay cool, and we'll see you in the next lesson.